let's talk about the topping E50 L50 stack. Welcome back to Thrift Shop. Today we're going to talk about the topping products. That's right, topping L50 headphone amp and E50 DAC. Provided to me by APOS. All thoughts and opinions are mine. Thanks APOS for sending this out. Links down below. Costs you nothing, helps the channel. Actually, there's a sale going on. I just checked. I believe these are part of the spring sale. So if you're watching this in the future, sorry that you missed out. So pretty good deal. The topping L50 right now is $147, which is a pretty amazing deal when we talk about this headphone amp. Normally $229, so that's a pretty good price for what we're going to talk about here coming up. And the E50 is $173 on sale, normally $269. Normally with APOS and some of these other sites, you can group these together as a stack and sometimes get a better price. I could not find that on APOS. I think that's due to they're including their flow cable or something else, so couldn't find just a stack, even though you can find combos, but they include other things, so it's somewhat misleading. Anyways, let's start with the DAC. So we already talked about this price, but everyone wants to know its specs. Let's see. Most importantly, it has the ESS 9068 AS DAC chip, which is actually not something that I think that I've heard before. Let's see, it does DSD 512, 32-bit, 768 kilohertz PCM via USB, 24-bit coax and optical. We'll get into the device itself on a tour. We'll do that in a little bit. Let's see, noise THD plus N, balanced out of 0.0009. So just like topping products, extremely quick, clean sound. Does include a remote control here, which this is one of the first times that I actually had to use the remote. So it's saying something. So you definitely don't have many touch features with this device, like some of the other products from topping. Yeah, you can select output, so you can select balanced out, you can do RCA out, you can do both, and it doubles as a preamp actually. So one of the benefits of this is that you can actually, I don't know if you can see that, but you have a digital preamp output. So kind of a unique feature, depending how you're using this. You have to use a remote to enable that, but you could envision using this as your main digital to analog converter in your 2-channel system, and simply using that to adjust the sound, which is, it's pretty cool. Not all DACs have that functionality, so it's something pretty cool. Let's see, I don't know if I mentioned MQA. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Pretty small little product here. And the amplifier, though, this is what really gets me interested in this product line. Let me get down to the specs here. So you do get high, low, medium gain, which is pretty cool. So it's not just a low and high. You do get pass-through, so the output bypasses when the power is off. It is the NFCA modules which topping use, which are ultra clean. It's actually cleaner than the actual DAC with THD plus N of 0.0006. Small numbers, anyways, it is better. I'll put impedances less than 0.1 ohms, so it's going to match with pretty much anything you can use with it, and you're not going to have a problem with it. Power. It's unusually rated because most things are rated at 32 ohms. This is rated at 16 ohms, so maybe cut this in half. But at 16 ohms, it's 3,500 milliwatts or 3.5 watts of power. Man, the price is $147. At 300 ohms, it's 540 milliwatts, so half a watt at 300 ohms. So, and I did test this, as you know that I do, with some pretty demanding headphones. So yeah, it's pretty powerful, and that's why I like it. It's clean sound. So I think I've discussed before, when it comes to sound characteristics, you got kind of the shit sound here. You got the hi-fi kind of sound, or you have the Denafrips sound. So those are colored, and this is going to be more of a clinical reference kind of sound, and it's good to have those depending on what you're pairing it with and what music you're listening to and just what your overall preferences are. So right now we're going to go to a unit tour. All right, so we're going to do a little bit of a unit tour here. Get the light a little better. So let's see. So you have single-ended, balanced and off here. So it's good that you have your switch right in the front. I don't know why balance is the middle. Makes absolutely no sense that the balance is there. You think you would go off single-ended then balanced. So I ran mine single-ended. We'll talk about why. And you do get high, medium, low. I was mostly using medium gain. You have your balanced output and your 1/4 inch headphone and your volume dial. As you'll see here, it's shiny. Try to get that light shining across there. It is a finger magnet, so you don't realize how bad it is until you put it under the lights. Like, whoa. And I did try to wipe this down with a cleaning cloth. So yeah, it's cool, but I would rather have some matte finish that didn't do that with, I should say, nice aluminum enclosure here. And on the back, uniquely, it's kind of a problem. So you do get your inputs. Your balance are going to be TRS. Don't know why. I actually ordered 4-pin to these 1/4 inch TRS connectors, and they're too close together for me to even use the adapters from those big 4-pin plugs. So you can't even use an adapter. You have to buy a specific cable for this headphone amp, which I think is a real problem. And you'll see the same thing on the back of the DAC. So major downside. Should have just made this a little bit normal size, I guess, but a little bit bigger, and put in 4-pin XLRs. Single-leaded was everything that I ran because of the problem with that. And you also get the pass-through, which is really cool. Power supply is 15 volt. You do get a wall wart, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't know what that's for. I assume that's for the OEM to do some work. So yeah, pretty cool little device for $147 on sale. $229, maybe not, but $147, yeah. All right, so we do have the DAC now here, the E50, and as you can see, pretty much nothing to talk about on the front here. You do get a select button, and as I mentioned with the headphone amp, it is kind of a fingerprint magnet. So even though I try to wipe it down, I'm gonna have to use a lot of glass cleaner with this. The key again is to use the actual remote to do any adjustments or changing. The select from my memory just changes the inputs, which is fine to have in front of you if you don't have the remote with you. On the back, so you do get your TRS balanced out. Again, problematic. You have to buy specific cables for this. Single-leaded, standard's going to work. You have your coax, optical, USB. The problem that I had is most DACs, once you plug in the USB, and the USB is not just as stated, it's just power. In this case, they've separated out the power here, and they include a cable, but I plugged this in, nothing happened when I put in my main USB cable. So I had to run another USB cable for my computer, and I already have a hub, and I'm already packed, I have limited number of USBs. I probably have about 12, and I've used them all up for everything that I have here. So I think it was a bad choice. Either send a wall wart or do something different. But a little bit of a problem, but for the price, it's not a deal killer. So that's it. All right, how does it sound? Well, I think I've already mentioned. If you've had a topping product, it sounds like a topping product. Although I will say it's not as squeaky clean as some things that I've heard from topping. I wouldn't say it's the most clinical, and I wouldn't say it's colored the way that Shit or Hi-Fi or Denafrips is colored. It is leading that way, which I think is a very good step for topping. So overall, in general, you're not going to notice that the bass is overemphasized, or you're getting more vocals, or there's a lot of, well, you are going to get a lot of treble energy, or the appearance of treble energy, given the very neutral sound. So, with topping products, sometimes you have to be careful if you already have a headphone or an IEM that already has a lot of treble in it, because it can be too much. And if you have something that maybe is too bassy, and warm, then you go to the topping product and it comes a little bit cleaner. So that's in general how it works. So we'll talk through some of the headphones that I used first of all. And first of all, the Verum Audio, because this is around 8 ohms. Easy to drive, higher sensitivity, so pretty easy to drive, but 8 ohms is basically like an open circuit. So if you plug this in, a lot of amplifiers don't like to run low impedance headphones. In this case, no problem whatsoever. Did not get noise, didn't distortion. Barely had to use the volume dial to get these cranking. So, pretty good mix to go with Verum Audio with this. Still, highly recommend these headphones and help your people out in Ukraine. So if you can, try to get yourself a set of these. Next, we go with the FTP 350 ohm. So we want low impedance, 8 ohms, and now we're going to go to 350 ohms to see if we can drive it. No problem. Maybe 3/4 on the dial to get these going. Not a problem. These already have a lot of treble energy in them. So you somewhat have to be careful what you pair it with. These are not the best sounding on topping products, as I mentioned. So you have to be a little bit careful, but it did drive them fine. It's just an issue of these already having a lot of treble and this being more of a neutral sound signature. Not the best pairing, but it did work fine. And lastly, my cable's off here, sorry about that. My SJY Starry Nights with the perforated suede pads, because again, these have a lot of treble energy, so not the best to pair with something like this, but these are low sensitivity headphones, very hard to drive, almost like HE6 kind of, Hi-Fi-Man HE6 SE kind of hard to drive headphones. And these things are beautiful, they sound great, they're a great deal. SJY Starry Nights, you get that stabilized burl. Absolutely beautiful. These things sound great. And it's not the best pairing because of the neutrality of the singer, but I drove these fine. I was probably at 95% of the dial getting these fully up to power. So not a problem, but for $147, I mean, it's hard to complain when this headphone amp can drive something like this and you're paying $147. To put it in comparison, yes, the i5 puts out 14 watts, but that's a $2,200 amplifier. So, if you had to do things over today and what's in the market today, I would go with more of this product, even though it doesn't have the sound signature that I may like. Certainly, if you're mastering and mixing, this is a great headphone amplifier and DAC combo put together. And lastly, a few IEMs that I used. This is the SimGo EA500 LM. Sorry, I had to remember the name a little bit. All metal, $90. These things are great. I'll try to listen below. This is kind of been something that the last 2 months that I've really been listening to. $90, all metal construction. Pretty energetic kind of sound signature. Doesn't pair well with anything colored, so has a little bit too much mid bass in it that bleeds over. Mid bass bleeds in and crowds it up, but you pair it with something clean like a topping product, and this is a match made in heaven. This is airy when you match it with something as neutral as a topping stack here. Beautiful sound. Highly recommend to get like the value system. Buy this headphone amplifier if you already have a DAC. 147, buy these. That's really all you need. You're going to be in musical paradise with this pairing right here. Another IEM that kind of fits really well with this, and it's kind of new. I will have this coming out soon. This is, I'll try to actually show the box. It might be easier because these are really small. This is the new Rose Technic Star City 5 Pro. I believe it's 1 dynamic driver, 2 BAs. I think it's $70. Didn't find it on Amazon yet. This was sent to me by them, but you can find it AliExpress and things. So this IEM has, I want to say, a similar sound signature to the Some got EA500 LM, though this is much more bassy. Again, the bass is bleeding into the mids a little bit, so it can sound congested. So when you put something with romance, right, a little more, you know, the Bifrost and the Denafrips have this warm feeling already, and you put something warm to it, you know, 1 + 1 is going to equal 10 in this case. It just sounds too warm, too overly done. If you put it with a topping stack here, the L50, E50, sorry, stack, it sounds really, really great. Great pairing. These things are silky smooth, so this is kind of sit back, relax, and not really worry about the details, and just enjoy the music. And I certainly did that with this topping stack. So yeah, you know, all in, this may be the best stack from topping value-wise that has come across my desk. And with the current sale, be hard-pressed not to go buy this for $147. I already have DACs, so it's just really connecting in the amplifier that I need. And, you know, that's a good steal. So, hey, if you like this content, please like, subscribe, hit the buttons down below. Stop freeloading and watch everyone's free videos. Help out people, small people like me, trying to make it in life, you know. Just hit the buttons. Cost you nothing. Helps me out. Peace.